Hello everyone and welcome to the Rapid Revision Route. So today we are going to revise the topic supply. Yes, the topic supply. So when we are talking about the word supply, what do you mean that? What do you mean by supply? So when we talk about supply, I remember one point. Article number 36612 that says that under GST, tax will be levied on supply. Yes, the word supply of goods and services. So we can tell that supply is the taxable event in the GST. In the GST, supply is the taxable event, and that is defined under section 7, properly defined under section 7. So we are going to study right now the taxable event of GST supply section number 7. So let's begin. When we are talking about section number 7, it is distributed in four parts: 7.1, 7.1a, 7.2, 7.3. 7.1. First of all, we'll study 7.1. 7.1 says that supply includes, means it is the definition of supply. It will tell you what supply means. So, supply includes what? Supply includes 7.1a, 7.1 AA, 7.1b, and 7.1c. All the activities coming under this subsections 7.1a, double A, B, and C, this all will be termed as supply. Yes, we are going to call it as a supply. So right now we are going to analyze the first one, 7.1 small a. Yes, 7.1 small a. What this section tells? It tells all forms of supply of goods or services or both, all forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. All forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, exchange, barter, transfer, lease, rental, disposal, license, etc., made or agreed to be made for consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business. This is the very basic definition of supply. Supply means all forms of supply of goods or services, which are sale, exchange, barter, transfer, lease, rental, etc., anything it may be. What they are done, made or agreed to be made. Either made, it means done, or you are going to do it. Agreed to be made. Why you are doing this sale, exchange, barter, transfer? Why you are agreeing to do this sale, exchange, barter, transfer? For consideration. And who is doing this all things sale, exchange, barter, transfer? For consideration by a person. Who is doing this? By a person. And why the person for consideration doing these things? In the course or furtherance of business. So these are the most important elements of the definition of supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If these five things are present in the definition of supply, if these five things are present, then only we are going to term the activity or transaction as a supply. Otherwise, not. If any one element is absent, then it will not be termed as a supply. Remember this thing first. Yes. Now, let's talk about the thing consideration. Sir, you told us that all the element with consideration are present, then it will be termed as supply. But if all the element are present, but consideration is absent, then if consideration is absent, now check that whether the activity is covered under 7.1c. If the activity is covered under 7.1c, though it is not a supply, but we will be deeming it as a supply. It will be deemed a supply. Yes. And if it is not covered in 7.1c, then it will not be termed as a supply. It will not be termed as a supply. Same thing for the last element in the course of furtherance of business. The thing should be done in the course of furtherance of business. Yes, if done in the course of furtherance of business, it will be supply. If not done in the course or furtherance of business, then check whether the activity is covered under 7.1b. If the activity is covered under 7.1b, it will be a supply. Otherwise, not a supply. Now, going towards 71B first. See, 71B. 71B says that import of services. Import of services for consideration. Main element, I told you. Other elements will be present. Only one thing is absent, not in the course or furtherance of business. Import of service for consideration, not in the course or furtherance of business. That will be termed as supply. Though one element is absent, but if it is covered under 71B, it will be termed as supply. Yes. So we are going to tell this activity as supply. Now, first confirm that it will be a supply. Confirm. Now, again, what will happen? If this is a supply and if it is imported by charitable trust, individual, government, it will be exempt. If other person are importing it, it will be taxable. It will be taxable. Now, this is a clarification. Yes, done. 71B. Now, going towards 71C. Now, 71C talks about Schedule 1. 71C talks about Schedule 1. It tells that if the activities are specified in Schedule 1, then it will be a deemed supply. It will be a deemed supply, otherwise it will not be a supply. Schedule 1 we are going to discuss after this chart. Only one subsection remaining, 71AA. 71AA. 71A done, 71B done, 71C done. One is remaining, 71AA. What it tells? When we are deciding the meaning of supply on any activities transaction by a person other than individual. See, the person definition we have covered in the definition video itself. In that definition video, I told you person means any person, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, company, partnership firm, LLP, trust, government, etc. etc. If any person other than individual, except individual, any person is providing any type of services to its member or constituents, to its members or constituents, or any member or constituents providing any type of service to such person. Yes, with the consideration, where there is involvement of some consideration or say in kind, in cash, any form it may be, then this transaction will be termed as supply between the member or the constituents. For example, partnership firm and a partner. If a firm is giving something to the partner for the services, then it will be termed as supply. Or if a partner is giving something to the partnership firm, then this activity or transaction will also be termed as supply as per section 71AA. Now, this first part is done. Supply includes all things covered in 71 is going to be supply under GST. Now, coming towards 71 capital A. 71 capital A gives you schedule number 2. The activities specified under schedule number 2 will give you a clarification on the thing whether this transaction should be termed as supply of goods or supply of service. It will bifurcate whether we should term this transaction as a supply of goods or as a supply of service, like this. Next, coming towards 7.2. Now, 7.2 talks about what supply excludes. Means by default 7.1, applying 7.1 by default, this is a supply. This activity is a supply, but we are excluding it from the definition of supply. We are excluding it from the definition of supply. Let's see what are excluded. 7.2a, 7.2b. 7.2a talks about schedule 3. So how many schedules we have seen up till now? Schedule 1, schedule 2 and schedule 3. Now schedule 3 tells that any activities that are specified in schedule 3 will be excluded from the definition of supply. Though it is a supply, but we are not going to consider it under the definition of supply for the purpose of this act. Now, what else are excluded? 7.2b. Any such activities which are being notified by the government. Which are being notified by the government. So, what the things are being notified by the government? One notification, number two notification. Number one, any activities by panchayat or municipalities. Any activities by panchayats or municipalities which are being enshrined to this municipalities or panchayats given or enforced by the constitution article number 243G and 243W. being given by these articles, being given by these articles to municipality or panchayat, any official duty by the constitution, that will be excluded from the definition of supply. Another notification, services by way of grant of alcoholic liquor license by the state government will be excluded from the definition of supply. Any type of alcoholic liquor license given by the state government, this service of giving license of the state government will be exempt from the definition of supply. Yes, it will not be included from the definition of supply. Now, one clarification on this, sir. Other than alcoholic liquor for human license, yes, alcoholic liquor for human consumption license, there are other license also given by the government, like driving license, etc., etc., factory license, etc., etc. So, what about this license? This license giving by the state government, the service given by the state government providing other license will be taxable under GST, and that too under reverse charge. That too under reverse charge. So remember this thing. Yes. And lastly, 7.3 gives the powers to the government, that government may at any time notify more services or exclude more services or more supply of goods from this definition. Yes. So now coming towards different schedules. Schedule number 1. Let's start with schedule number 1. Now, schedule number 1 talks about activities without consideration. Schedule number 1 talks about activities without consideration but deemed supply. But deemed supply. Though there is no consideration, though there is no presence of the important element in the definition of supply, then also we are going to deem it as a supply. So we are going to check this. Four activities are there: para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4. Now, coming towards para 1. Coming towards para 1. Permanent transfer or disposal of business asset where ITC has been availed. For example, what I have done, I am a manufacturer of laptop. See this example. I am a manufacturer of laptop. What I have done, I have purchased raw material, I have paid to the laborers, I purchased capital goods, and on all these three things, I have paid input tax. While making the payment of all these three things, I have paid input tax. It means input tax credit. I have. What I can do, now I have the credit balance. I can use this credit balance while making payment of tax. While making payment of tax. Now, using these things, I have manufactured 100 laptops. I have manufactured 100 laptops. Now, out of these 100 laptops, I have given 10 laptops to my relatives, and 90 to the customer. 90 to the customer. When I am giving this 90 laptops as a sale to the customer, I have received consideration from them. I have received consideration from them. So this is a supply because consideration is present. What we are talking about? We are talking about this 10 laptops that I have given to the relatives without consideration. When I am given this 10 laptops to any relatives, friends, or say any other person without consideration, check whether ITC has been availed for this 10 also. Because while purchasing the raw materials, capital goods, the labors, we have paid for 100 laptops. And among them, 90 we are selling and 10 we are giving without consideration. Now analyze whether the ITC involved for this 10 laptops has been utilized. If you have taken credit of the ITC which is being assigned to this 10 laptops, then this 10 laptops supply will be considered as deemed supply. This activity will be considered as deemed supply, and accordingly you have to calculate the tax on that and you have to pay the tax on that, though you have not recovered any amount from that person to whom you are making the supply. But for the purpose of the taxation GST provisions, we have to calculate the tax and pay the tax to the government. This is what para number 1: permanent transfer or disposal of business asset where ITC has been availed. This is the main term. ITC has been availed. What if ITC is not availed? Then this will not be termed as a supply because it will not be covered under para number 1. Now, para number 2, supply of goods or services or both between related person or between distinct person as specified in section 25 when made in the course or furtherance of business. When made in the course or furtherance of business. So, supply of goods or services being made by a person to their related person or to any distinct person where this are done in the course or furtherance of business. So first of all, there are two terms: related person, distinct person. Will have a proper understanding of this two terms. Related person. Who are the related person under the GST? Related person means such person or are officer directors of one another's business. Say a director of a same company, the two directors, these are related person. Or say one director here and another director there, but a company are related, so the director will be related. Yes. Employer and employee, these are also related person. But in case of employer and employee, there is a limit of 50,000. Up to 50,000, employer can give their employee any type of goods or services. Up to 50,000. But above 50,000, if given by employer and employee, it will be covered under para 2 and it will be a deemed supply. They are giving a relaxation up to only 50,000. Such employees and employer, such person are legally recognized partners, say partnership firms partner. Yes, in that partner number A, B, C, all are related person. Yes, such person are members of the same family. They are members of the same family. The definition of family we have seen in the definition video. Yes, or you have not seen, you can see the definition video for the proper meaning of the family under GST. Say one of a person is a holding company and one is a subsidiary, and both are controlling a third company. So the third company will be related with this two. Yes. Or one holding company is a subsidiary company, and that subsidiary company is again holding of a third company. So that third company will be a related person. Yes. All these are the related person under GST. All these are the related person under GST. Now, talking about the distinct person. Sir, what do you mean by distinct person? Say there are two examples of distinct person under section 25.4 and 25.5. Okay, number one, when you are doing the same nature of business, clarifying the thing, you are doing the same nature of business and you have different registration. Say your head office is registered in Delhi and branch is registered in West Bengal. You are having different registered registration but the same nature of business. Then either single pen or different pen, this will be termed as distinct person. Anything is being supplied from here to here, it will be assumed that two different persons are making a supply and the transaction will be considered as a supply. Yes, if it in the course or furtherance of business. Now another thing, 25.5, say if your both things, one thing is registered and one thing is not registered. Yes, in the above example, both the units were registered. Yes, both the establishment were registered, but here one is registered and one is unregistered. Now, but there is a difference. Here the nature of business is different. Above the nature of business was same. Same nature of business, different registration, or different nature of business, same registration. In this thing also you are going to consider both the establishment as distinct person of distinct person, and accordingly anything supplied from here to here will be deemed as a supply. Yes, it will be not like that one thing is going from here to here, then it is going within the same registered person. So no effect will be not given. This will be deemed as supply and accordingly tax will be calculated. Now talking about the third one, stock transfer. Stock transfer. See, when there is a stock transfer and the transfer is being made from one factory to a one showroom, and both this are having a single registration. See in the example itself, the factory and the showroom both are registered under a single registration, then this stock transfer will not be a supply. But what if the factory and the showroom both are differently registered? If these two units are registered differently, then the stock transfer will also be termed as deemed supply. Yes, as per para 2. Stock transfer will also be deemed as a supply if they are differently registered. Then, so this is all about para 2. Now coming towards para 3. This para, most of the students are getting confused while this para. They get confused. So let us try to irrigate let us try to resolve your confusion. Yes, we'll try that you will not get confused after seeing this concept. Para 3, supply of goods by a principal to his agent or by agent to his principal. Yes, supply of goods by principal to his agent or by agent to his principal. Yes. Now let us see this example. See, this is principal, agent, and the customer. Principal, agent, and the customer. Now, see here what we are talking about. Yes, first of all, we'll have a analysis of what we are talking about in this para. We are not talking about this supply, this supply. We are talking about this supply. Sir, what do you mean? Say how the transaction will go on. When the customer orders something, the agent will tell to the principal, sir, send the goods to me. I will sell these goods to the customer. Now, when the agent will sell these goods to the customer, consideration will be received. Yes, consideration is there. So, this supply between the agent and the customer will be termed as supply. Yes. So, we are not talking about this. Also, for doing this supply, agent will charge commission and will provide agency services. So that will be a supply of service. And for this agency services, this agent is receiving the consideration. Yes. So this is a supply. We are also not talking about this under para 3. We are not talking about this. We are not talking about this. What we are talking about, when the goods will be sent from principal to the agent, is the principal charging any consideration to the agent? Is the agent is going to pay anything for this supply of goods unless and until these goods are sold to the customer? Think about it. So this is the only transaction where there is no consideration. Where there is no consideration, and we are talking about this under para 3. We are talking about only this part under para 3, not about this supply. Because under both the supply consideration is there, they are supply. But we are talking about whether this will be termed as supply or not. Yes, this transaction without consideration. Now, let us check this. Now, for making decision, what we should consider? We should consider the invoice. Now, check on the invoice. The invoice which is being given to the customer, whose name is there on the invoice? Is there the principal's name or the agent's name? If there is the name of the principal on the invoice which is given to the customer, to the client, then this will not be termed as a supply. This will not be termed as a supply. But if on the invoice which are you giving to the customer, the name is of the agent. On the invoice, the name is of the agent, not the principal. The invoice is in the agent's name, not in the principal's name. Then this transaction will be deemed supply. Now we are going to consider this transaction also as a supply. Got the point? See, you can analyze the situation also. Invoice name, agent's name, then this will be a supply. Invoice in the principal's name, this will not be a supply. Now, if this invoice is being given in the name of the agent, then this agent will be termed as para 3 agent. This will be a para 3 agent, means agent covered under the para 3. This only this transaction is covered under para 3. So the agent, if doing this thing, he will be termed as para 3 agent. Now, next concept, del credit agent. Del credit agent. Del credit agent is that agent who guarantees the payment. Say for example, principal wants to make a supply. He want to sell the goods. Now he told to the agent, please sell the goods. Now the agent goes to the buyer and the buyer says that, the customer says that I am not having money right now. I will purchase your goods, but I will pay you 2 months later. Now, When the agent tells this thing to the principal, what the principal says, no, I cannot wait for 2 months. I need my money today. Or case number two, the principal will say that what if after 2 months that customer not gives the payment? What will you do? Now that agent will answer. Two answers will be there. If the principal says that what is the guarantee of that person, then the agent will say that I will take the guarantee. If that person after 2 months is not making any payment, I will pay you the whole amount. Case number one. Or what if the principal says that I need the money today itself? If like this the principal says, then what the agent will do? The agent will pay from his pockets to the principal, and then later on after 2 months he will recover from the customer. This is a type of service, extra facility. We'll say that credit services are given by the agent, and such type of agent is called as Dell Credit Agent, and it charges a higher commission as compared to the normal agent. Now we'll have a confirmation about what the provisions will be attracted in case of Dell Credit Agent. Say in case of Dell Credit Agent, a new service is being given by him. That is credit facility. That is credit facility. Now we are going to make decision on that. See, if it is not an para 3 agent. It means the invoice is in name of the principal. When the invoice is in the name of principal, there are supply of goods by principal to customer. That is this one. This will be termed as supply. Yes. Now, second thing, supply of supply of agency services by the agent. This is this one. Yes, this is supply, sir. This is supply. This is supply. If this is not an agent of para 3, whether this will be a supply? No, sir. This will not be a supply. First of all. Now, what else service the agent is giving? He is giving the extension of credit services. I told you, in case of Dell Credit Agent, one more service is being updated, added. That is credit facility. Now he is giving the credit facility. In that case also, this will be a supply of service by this agent to the customer. By this agent to the customer, and in return the customer will have to pay interest on such service. On such supply he is going to pay the interest. Now when this is not an agent under para 3, so this supply of service of credit facility will be independent supply of service. Will be independent supply of service. This will not be a composite supply. This will not be a mixed supply. Nothing. This will be an independent supply of service whose valuation will be treated or calculated separately. Now, what if the agent is a para 3 agent? If the agent is a para 3 agent, then, sir, first of all, supply of goods by principal to the agent. I am talking about this. This will be deemed as supply. If the agent is of the para 3 agent, then this supply will also be treated as a supply, and this were earlier also treated as supply. Now also there will be a supply. So there are three supply right now, and the fourth supply credit facility. Yes. So what will happen? So the goods by principal to agent, then agent to the customer to supply. Yes, we have seen in the diagram above. Also agency services supplied by the agent to the principal, that also we have seen. Yes. And credit facility given by the agent to the customer. Now the agent is giving customer the credit facilities. Now what will happen in this case when the para 3 agent is there? Now this supply of service of credit facility will not be treated as an independent supply. And its valuation also, valuation is not going to be independent, not going to be separate. Now you are going to do the valuation of this service along with the value of supply of goods. So this is the thing under section 15(2)(d). Yes, it's a type of incidental supply, or say extra interest, credit, penalty received, addition in value. So it will be calculated as a value of supply of goods, not independently. And the last entry of schedule 1 para 4, last entry of schedule 1 para 4, import of service by a person from related person or own establishment outside India in the course or furtherance of business. Now import of service without consideration, but in the course of furtherance of business, imported from related person or own establishment. So this is all about schedule 1. This is all about schedule 1. Now going toward schedule 2. Schedule 2 provides a clarification of what is supply of goods or what is supply of service. Yes. So let's start with this thing. Schedule 2. Para number 1. Transfer. What transferred, sir? What transferred? When you transfer the title, very simple. We are revising the thing. When you transfer the title, it will be supply of goods. But when you transfer the rights, it will be supply of service. For example, you sold your car to a person. You transferred the title. Now the RC of the car is under the name of that person. So that will be a supply of goods. But what if you rented your car? You given the car to a person for a day. Title is not transferred, but the rights are transferred. It is a supply of service. Yes. Para number 2, land and building. In the definition video itself, I told you then when we are talking about immovable property, it is covered as a service. In the definition of service, yes. In the definition of service, it is covered. So land and building, any supply you make using the immovable asset, it will be termed as supply of service. Now, para 3, treatment or process. That is job work. Say for example, you are giving raw materials to a person, and in return that person is giving you finished goods. In return that person is giving you finished goods. So what that person is doing, he is doing the job work. He is doing the job work. So treatment or process, it is a type of service. Now coming towards para 4. Para 4, supply of goods or supply of service. Para 4, transfer of business asset. Say for example, you are having a showroom of bike. Yes, you are having a showroom of bike, and the bikes are being sold on your direction in the same manner you prescribe. The goods forming part of business asset are transferred or disposed of under the direction of a person carrying on the business. As you are directing, as you are directing, there the person, the salesman, is going to sell the product as per your directions. So that will be a supply of goods if it is done for the business asset. Point number 2, when the registration is going to be say for example cancelled, or say for example suspended, etc., or the taxable person is going to cease to exist, means death of a person, or you have transferred your business from one person to another as a going concern. So these are the cases where the taxable person will cease to exist. Now if the taxable person ceases to be a taxable person, then the stock of business asset present on the same day, on the date where the person has ceases to be a taxable person, will be deemed as a supply. We'll consider that the stock has been supplied, deemed supply, and accordingly calculate the tax and pay us. Whatever the stock will be there in your showroom, you have to calculate it. So as per our example, if the say for example out of 10 bikes, 4 bikes are there in the stock. So if I cease to be a taxable person, then what will happen? So you have to deem that these 4 bikes are also sold, and accordingly calculate the tax and pay to the government. But this provision number B will not be applicable if the business is transferred as a going concern, or is carried or the business is carried on by the personal representative. Yes. So in that case, this provision will not be effective. Now, when it will be a supply of service, say for example, one of the bike color was very good. So what I did, I used that bike for the personal use. Yes, I own purchase the bike. So if your showroom is there and you own or driving that bike, you are going to pay in that showroom? No, sir. So in that case, it will be a supply of service if the goods which are business asset, which are used for the business, are put to private use, personal use. So this is all about para 4. Now para 5. Para 5, supply of service. Renting of immovable property. In short, it will be a supply of service. Yes. Now, number B. This point I am going to explain you with the example. Say, you have seen many builders that are building the projects, flat scheme, commercial project, residential projects, row houses. What they do, they complete the project and then we start and go and leave or use that particular property. Now there are two things. What can happen, sir? You started living in that flat. There was a flat scheme in a building. You started living in that flat, and the builder gave you the completion certificate afterwards. Or what will happen? The builder gave you the completion certificate first, and after receiving the completion certificate, now you are going to live in that flat. Two cases. Now, why are you telling sir these things? Because you have to make a decision on these two things. Confirm the date on which you are receiving the completion certificate, or you are having the first occupancy. First time you went to the flat for living. First occupancy. Whichever will be first. Whichever will be earlier. Earlier of completion or first occupancy. Freeze that date. Say for example, today I received the completion certificate, and day after tomorrow I took my first occupancy. Which date came first? Completion certificate. So I locked this date. Now analyze before this date. You locked the date. Today's today's any date you may consider when you receive the completion certificate. Yes. So today's date I have locked it. Now analyze that any amount you have received before this date. If you have received any amount before this date, then the whole amount will be taxable. Or if you receive the whole amount after this date, then nothing will be taxable. Got a point? If taxable, it will be a supply of service. Yes, this is the thing in the construction area. Now temporary transfer permitting the use or enjoyment of intellectual property rights. Say, for example, copyrights, patent, trademarks, you are permitted for the use, then it will be a supply of service. In case of IT software, say you are having a customized software, you are telling the IT company like this such type of this software you have to personally make for me. Customized software, it will be a supply of service. But if you are purchasing a pre-packed software, then it will be a supply of goods. If that prepaid software is having a license to use, then it will be a supply of service. Remember these things. Customized software, supply of service, prepacked software, supply of goods. If this prepaid software is a license key generated, then supply of service. Yes, remember these things. Now, next, agreeing to obligation to refrain from, to tolerate, to do an act. To refrain from an act, to tolerate an act, or to do an act. Under GST, making a person to do an act is also a type of supply. Or refraining the person not to do an act is also type of supply. Or tolerating, if you are paying some person for tolerating an act, that is also a type of supply. But this will be a supply or not. How to make the decision? What are the three terms? To refrain from an act, tolerate an act, or to do an act. These are the three terms. Check that any separate contract or agreement, either express or implied, any separate contract or agreement, either express or implied, is made for these three things. Any separate contract or agreement, either express or implied, is made for these three things. Any of these three things. And second point, consideration is flowing as per the contract. And the consideration is flowing as per the contract. If these conditions are satisfied, then any activity of this nature done will be termed as supply under GST, and thus it will be taxable. So taking an example here, say check dishonor fine. When say you are going to deposit a check and for the payments, and there is no balance in your account, so what will happen? The check will bounce, check dishonor, and a fine will be charged by the bank to the account holder. Now what happened in this? You are making a separate agreement with the bank that today I am going to dishonor the check and I will pay a penalty this much. You are going to make a contract? No, you are not going to make a contract. So if you are not making a contract, this consideration is not flowing as per the contract. Nobody will make such a type of contract. The clause of check dishonor fine is being made by the banks as a provision, so that the errors made by the account holder can be corrected by their own. So they will be having a knowledge, oh no, 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 if I checked on dishonor will be happen, I will be charged a fine. So the account holder will himself be aware of these things. For that they are charging the fine. No separate contract is being made that we are going to dishonor, charge fine. No. So whether it will be a supply, it will not be a supply, and hence not taxable. Sir, can you give an example of some taxable? Yes, of course. Let fine. For example, you are filling the examination form, and that too after the dates has been closed. So what the institute will impose on you? Late fine, examination late fee. Yes. And when you are filling the form, and when you are paying that late fee, one box is there, check box is there, on which you tick it that I agree on the above terms and conditions. It means what? You have expressed or impliedly under an agreement or contract with the institute towards the late fee of the examination. Yes, and the consideration of the late fee of the examination is flowing as per that contract or agreement. So, in that case, this late fee or penalty is a supply. Yes, it will be a supply and thus taxable because there is a contract or agreement established. Yes, so the main core thing is that there should be a contract or agreement, and consideration must flow in return of this contract or agreement. These are the things. These are the clarification, and this is all about Schedule 2. Now we are going towards Schedule 3. Schedule 3 activities. What do you mean by Schedule 3? Sir, Schedule 3, remember Section 7.2a, supply excludes. Means activities or transaction which shall neither be supply of goods nor supply of service. It means you are excluding these activities from the definition of the supply. This will be out of the definition of the supply. Now, what are the entries? Para number 1. Services by employee to employer. An employee giving services to the employer in the course or in relation to the employment. In the course or in relation to employment, any services by employee to employer, that will be excluded from the definition of supply. Hence, no GST or taxability on this portion. Para number 2, services by court or tribunal. Any services given by the court or tribunal, these are also excluded from the definition of supply. Para number 3, functions performed by the members of parliament, members of state legislature, members of panchayat, members of municipalities, members of local authorities, means all the ministers and the members like this, or any duties performed by the person who holds any post in pursuance of provisions of constitutional. For according to the constitutional provisions, he is holding the office. Yes, any person like this, any person for performing duties by way of chairperson, member, director of any body established in which the government is having a controlling power, means public sector company. For example, Indian Railways, the chairperson of Indian Railways, members of Indian Railways, director of Indian Railways, these all are these members. So any duties performed by these members, any function performed by these members will not be considered as a supply as per schedule 3 para 3. Now para 4, services of, see, these are all death related services. Services of funeral, burial, crematorium, mortuary or transportation of the deceased. All the services are excluded from the definition of supply. Next, para 5, sale of land and building subject to schedule 2 para 2, para 5b. Schedule 2 para 5b. Yes. Yes, we have seen this right now only. The completion certificate, first occupancy, whichever is earlier, any amount received before that will be taxable. The whole amount will be taxable. Any amount received after this event, then whole will be exempt because it will be excluded from the definition of supply. Yes. So sale of land and building excluded from the definition of supply. And lastly, this is an amendment. Para number 6, actionable claims are excluded from the definition of supply other than specified actionable claims. Other than specified actionable claims. So it means, sir, specified actionable claims are termed as supply. Yes, of course. But any other actionable claims other than specified actionable claims will be excluded from the definition of supply. Now see which are the specified one. Betting, casinos, gambling, horse racing, lottery, online mobile gaming. Yes, online money gaming. Now, this betting, gambling, and lottery were earlier. Now, amendment has introduced three new actionable claims: casinos, horse races, and online mobile gaming. Now, this is all about Schedule 3. Now, coming towards some clarifications, free sample. Say, whenever you purchase something, free samples are being distributed with that. Yeah, free gifts or free gifts are given with that. Say, for example, on any square, they a particular company is distributing their products freely as a sample, as a small samples. So there will be a supply on that portion or not. Free sample or free gift are not attracted toward the definition of supply. So they will not be termed as a supply under GST because there is no consideration in return. And though there is no consideration, it is not covered under Schedule 1. Yes. So not a supply. Buy one get one free. It means, sir, buy one product, get the another product free. This one product you are paying the amount. It means, sir, it is a supply. And the another product, it will not be a supply. No, not like that. If it is a case of buy one get one free, then we are going to consider it as you are paying a single price for two products for this point. So in that case, both the products will be covered under the definition of supply. Now, coming towards the clarification of, say, mode of conveyances or rigs, tools, and spares. Say, for example, from one branch to another branch, you are sending any person or any conveyance, say, either a private jet or say bus or say truck, any conveyance. So, the movement of this conveyance from one place to another will be considered as a supply of service? No. It will neither be supply of goods, neither supply of service, not covered under definition of supply. And when any rigs, tools, or spare parts are being transported from one establishment to their own establishment. Say, for example, I am having a branch at one another location, and there some machinery is being demanding repair and maintenance. So I send a person with the tools, rigs, and spare parts to go and repair that machinery. So now the transportation of this person and the rigs, tools, and spares being transported will not be termed as a supply. This is the clarification. Now, this is all about section number 7. 7.1, 7.1 capital A, 7.2, 7.3. In 7.1, supply includes 7.1 small a, 7.1 small double a, 7.1 small b, 7.1 small c. Now, in 7.2, 7.2 small a and 7.2 small b. This is all about the section number 7 included with schedule number 1, 2 and 3. Now we are going towards section number 8. We are going towards section number 8. Now what this section tells about the definition of composite supply and mixed supply. Coming towards the definition of composite supply. Sir, what do you mean by composite supply? See, to learn this definition, we have distributed in different parts. Now, see, composite supply means a supply made. Who is making the supply? Taxable person. To whom the supply is being made? Recipient. Of what the supply is being made? Comprises of two or more taxable supplies. Of what? Goods, services, or both, or any combination thereof. How are they are supplied? Which are naturally bundled and supplied in conjunction with each another simultaneously in the ordinary course of business, and one of which is a principal supply. So this is how you can apart this definition. You can do the part of this definition and properly learn the definition. Let us try this once. Composite supply means a supply made by a taxable person to a recipient, which comprises of two or more taxable supply of goods or services or both or any combination thereof, which are naturally bundled and supplied in conjunction with each another and in ordinary course of business, and one of which is a principal supply. One will be a principal supply and other will be the ancillary supplies. See the example. For example, you are ordering a mobile phone. So what are there in the box of mobile phone? You will have a handset, charger, charging cable, and some other manuals or tools. Yes, these things you are going to get. Now this is another product. This is a different product. This is a different product. Yes. These are different product with different rates. So 18% rate, 20% rate, 10% rate. Yes. So these are different products, but we are supplying them all together. We are supplying them all together, which are naturally bundled. This is a composite supply. And among this, the supply of this handset of mobile phone is a principal supply, and the supply of charger and the cable along with this handset is an ancillary supply. And under composite supply, the tax rate will be considered is of the principal supply. Say for example, 18%, 20%, 10%. On the whole supply, which tax rate you are going to apply? You are going to apply the tax rate of the composite supply, principal supply. So principal supply is the supply of handset. So the 18% tax rate will be applicable on the whole supply. This is what about composite supply. Now, under the definition, there is an important word, naturally bundled. Naturally bundled. Sir, what do you mean by naturally bundled? These are some cases where we are going to consider it as a naturally bundled. Perception of the consumer. The consumer is having an imagination that these things come together. Yes, so it is naturally bundled. Number two, majority of service provider in a particular area of business provide the similar service. Yes, say for example, you are having a three restaurant in your area. Restaurant number one and two provide mouth freshener while they are giving you the bill. But restaurant number 3 is not providing the mouth freshener while giving you the bill. So which restaurant will you like? 1 and 2. You will avoid going to restaurant number 3. So forcefully the restaurant number 3 is going to think that the majority of the service provider in my area is providing the same service. So it means naturally bundle. I too have to provide the same service. Yes. Now, third point, nature of various services, bundle of service. Say, for example, it is by default naturally bundled. Or next, there is a single price of the consumer pay the same amount. For example, event management, event managers. While the management of say while the function of wedding, if you are planning a function of wedding, what generally people are doing, they go to the event management and they give them a contract. Yes, though they can arrange the things separately by their own, but they are giving the contract. The customer is saying that give these things for a single price to me. The customer is saying that the give these things for a single price to me. I am ready to pay. The customer is demanding you to make this naturally bundled. So it is naturally bundled composite supply. Next, advertise as a package. Say when there is advertise of a say cooking pan, along with that cooking pan, uh, a wooden stick is given. Dosa, tawa, uttapam, tawa. A wooden stick is there. Yes. So in the advertisement, you are showing that with this pan, you are going to get a wooden stick also. So this is advertised as naturally bundled. Different elements are not separately available. So for example, you have purchased a product, any product coming with a simple spare part that is not available in the market, that is a naturally bundle. Okay, these are the examples of naturally bundle. So this is all about composite supply. Now coming towards the mixed supply. Mixed supply means two or more individual supply. There in composite supply definition it was taxable supply. Here it is individual supply of goods or services or any combination thereof made in conjunction with each another by a taxable person for a single price. This is an important term in the definition, for a single price, where such supply does not constitute a composite supply. For example, a Cadbury celebration pack. In this, you are going to get Cadbury Dairy Milk Crackle, Fruit and Nut, Roasted Almond, 5 star 3D, different. Yes, but it is like that. These things you can purchase separately. Yes, you can purchase separately. You can buy Crackle also separately, Fruit and Nut also separately, 5 star 3D also separately. But the seller is making a combination of this for a single price. When you buy the celebration pack, beside the pack there is not single price written of each and every product in the package. They will not show you that crackle this much, fruit and nut this much, 5 star 3D this much. There will be a single price, not a different price and the total calculation. There will be a single price. This is the price for this package. And the description you will get these things in the package. So there is a single price in the package and which are not naturally bundled, but the seller is forcefully making this at a bundle for say a presentation or occasion or like a gift pack that can be sold. So this is a mixed supply. In the mixed supply, the rate, tax rate. Say for example, crackle is having a tax rate of 18%, fruit and nut is having a tax rate of 20%, 5 star 3D is having a 10% rate. Which tax rate we should consider? In case of mixed supply, the highest tax rate will be applicable on the whole supply. So here 20% tax rate will be applicable on the whole supply under the mixed supply. Now, coming towards some clarification. First one, printing industry issue. Say for example, when you are going, case number one, when you are going to say Xerox shop, printing shop, case number one, you provide your own format, you provide your own material, you will give the PDF to the printing person, and in return that printing person is going to give you the set of the notes. For example, you took the GST PDF, you went to the printing shop, and that PDF you gave to the person, he printed and given in return the notes. Now, sir, there are involvement of paper, ink, and the bunch is being given as a goods. But the person there is providing the printing services. So, involvement of both goods also, service also. So, in this composite supply, which is the principal supply? If you gave the person, the printing person, your own content, and in return he is giving the printing notes to you, he is giving the content in a printed format to you, though there is supply of goods also and service also, the composite supply will be termed as supply of service, and the principal supply will be the supply of service. Case number one, done. Now case number two. What if you went to the printing person and he's supplying the printed notes having his own content? He's having the own content. His own content. You are not giving the content. In that case, it will be a composite supply and the principal supply will be supply of goods. So remember, if any printing industry issues, you are providing the content, then supply of service. And if you are not providing the content, the person himself is generating the content and providing you the printed format notes. Then in that case, it will be supply of goods. Now, food supplied to the patient. This thing we are going to discuss in the exemption chapter, not discussing here. Activity of burst bodybuilding. Activity of burst bodybuilding, it means, say for example, you have outsourced the work. You are a Tata company, the bus of Tata company. What the Tata company had did, the metal frame of that bus is being outsourced by Tata company to say another company. Now the another company has two choices. Choice number one, Tata company is going to give the raw materials and they are going to make the metal frame of the bus and give it to Tata company. In this case, it will be a supply of service. Option number two, they will purchase raw material their own. The company is going to purchase raw material their own and then they are going to create the metal frame of the bus and going to give it to the Tata company. Supply of goods depends on the case. Rethreading of tires. Rethreading means, yes, you are correcting the torn tire. The tire which is being defected or damaged, you are correcting that tire. So in case of rethreading the tires, say for example any say punctured tire is there, you are going to retread the tire and properly again you are going to reuse it. If the person is having a business of selling the retreaded tire, means he is rethreading the tire and selling it, then it will be a supply of goods. But the person is not having the business of rethreading the tire and selling it. He is going to give service only of rethreading the tire to the customer. If any customer came with the tire, he will rethread it, then it will be a supply of service. If the customer is demanding to the seller that you are also having rethreaded tires in your showroom, please give me that tire, then it will be a supply of goods. So this is the clarification. And the last one, supplier food or beverages in a cinema hall. This is an amendment. Yes, this is an amendment. The last thing. Now, in this supply, what is happening? When we visit the cinema hall, there, along with the presentation of that picture, cinema, entertainment, you are going to have some eatables. Yes, you are going to have some eatable. So what is the scope of supply in this thing? Now check whether this eatables you are going to have from the combo ticket. While purchasing the ticket of the cinema, you are getting a combo pack along with the price of that ticket. If in that ticket itself there is a combo of food or beverages, then it will be termed as composite supply. It will be termed as composite supply. And what will be the principal supply? The principal supply is the supply of cinema. Yes, is the supply of cinema tickets. That will be the principal supply. Though you are supplying cinema tickets also along with food and beverages, if you are supplying both in a combo pack, then it will be a composite supply, and the principal supply is the supply of cinema. Yes. But what if you purchase only ticket? You are supplying only ticket, and a particular person, a customer, while in the process of interval, will go at the restaurant or catering over there and then purchase inside, not along with the ticket, not a combo offer with the ticket. He is purchasing the ticket separately and he is purchasing the food and beverages separately. In that case, both supply will be independent supply, and the treatment of both supply will be different. This will be a say a cinema supply, a supply of cinema, and this will be a supply of food and beverages. So this is the clarification. So all things are done. So the supply chapter is done. So now, next topic in the next video. Up till that, bye bye to all of you. Hello, students. Here I am with an announcement. We are starting our regular batches of CA Intermediate Taxation from 21st of September and CA Foundation all subject batches from 25th of September. And one more thing, this all batches will be in 100% English language. Yes, no Hindi, no English. It will be 100% English language, and that too at a very shocking price. To know more details about the batches and the shocking price, early bird discount, you can contact on the given number. Yes, the number on the screen. You can contact on that number and have the details of the batches. Up till that, bye bye to all of you.